All right, well, we'll get started. Thanks for coming, everyone. All right, so this is the Prepare for Internship Connect event. We'll be going through everything that you need to know about the Internship Connect event, which is coming up on October 23rd. So our agenda is very simple. Our agenda will include what the event is, what you can do for preparing to participate in this event, and providing some highlights of some of the companies that have registered. Plenty of seats down front if you want to come in. Please join us. And for what it's worth, my name is Jason Arnone, and I'm a career advisor with the Career Center. And I'm joined by my colleague, Susan Anderson, who is our Associate Director at the Career Center. And so we're going to be running through this material. I want to make sure that all of your questions get answered. So please don't be shy about raising your hand. Love to answer anything in real time. And I'm sure it's something that other folks in the room are thinking as well. We'll also be recording this and sharing this recording out. If you have any friends that weren't able to make it, you can let them know. Still some seats down here if you want to grab a seat. Okay, so as you may know, we have a dedicated website for this special event. And the URL for this event is internshipconnect.risd.edu. Everything that I'm going to be talking about tonight can actually be found in some degree on this dedicated website. And just as a reminder, this is an event that's taking place at the Rhode Island Convention Center on October 23rd, starting at 4 p.m. and running until 7 p.m. It's in person and it's at the convention center, which is really exciting. I always love doing things in person. You may have heard of portfolio reviews that the Career Center also puts on, and those will be taking place virtually with one-on-one meetings for portfolio reviews. This is a different event. This is our version of a career fair, getting companies in the door to meet and greet with you and to network for future contact. We'll be getting into that. So what is Internship Connect? So it provides a rare chance for you to meet with art and design professionals in your field of interest. So we deliberately reach out to folks from all different industries. We take input from your faculty, your department heads. Some of you are generous enough to share leads with us and tell us who you want there. So we reach out to a wide variety of folks from all different industries. And I will admit also, we reach out to fine art organizations as well to get representation from them. The event is one of the best ways to learn how to network with employers who are interested in RISD students, and it could lead to finding your next lead, either as an internship or as a job post-graduation. And I do say, like, of course, there's no guarantees here. This is not like a job fair where people are walking out with job offers. The nature of this event is really like you go in and you network, meet people, get a chance to practice talking to other human beings in real life. You know, that's something that we're still getting used to from all of the remote time that we've all been doing. But it's a great opportunity to practice your communication skills, to make connections that will pay off for you either in the short term, or it may be leads that you generate that help you down the line and in the future. We're going to be covering a lot about follow-up as well in this program. If you'd like to come sit down, please don't be shy. We do have chairs up here and we want you to be comfortable. So please come on down if you like. Okay, so just to get a couple of things out of the way, maybe address some preconceptions about what the event is. So, do you need to sign up for a meeting in advance to participate in Internship Connect? No, you do not. This is not like a one-on-one meeting, pre-scheduled kind of a thing. This is literally like walking into a room with folks that are at the event and introducing yourself. And sometimes there's lines to wait to speak to someone, but this is the nature of the event. It's meant to be like kind of fast-paced. Another one, Internship Connect is a good opportunity to review my portfolio with a professional. No, because like if we were doing portfolio reviews, it would take a million years to get through everyone that's stuck in a line if it's a long line. This is really meant to be like a quick, how do you do, introduce yourself, maybe hand over a resume or something like that. I will be getting into more of those details, but just so you know, like this is not actually a portfolio review. Those will be coming in the spring and you'll be getting lots of emails from the Career Center to make sure that you're aware of that. True or false? The majority of companies say they have internships available this year. Yes, we asked them when they register for the event, hey, are you actually looking for interns for this coming year or for the summer? And we got some excellent, like the majority of the responses were positive for that question. Very exciting. So who is participating in this thing? Well, when we're talking about eligible students, we're talking about sophomores, juniors, seniors, fifth year, and graduate students. I did not mention first year students. First year students are not eligible for this event, and nor are Brown students if you're strictly Brown and not like a dual degree. Now, if you are one of those folks and you're here, I can assure you of a couple of things. A lot of what we'll be talking about tonight are the building blocks of like a proper preparation for networking. So you might be a first year student that's going to learn some things tonight that could help you in your first interview for an internship this summer or something of that nature, or a part-time job. Technically, you can't do a credit-bearing internship as a first-year student, but plenty of folks will choose to do a part-time job over the summer, and this will help you. Or will get you like ahead of the game for networking for the years to come. And you know, the other thing about this event is that the names of these companies and the people that participate will also be made available to all RISD students. So as a first-year student, you will be able to understand who these people are that show up for this event. So there is a benefit to you in both regards. And then the professionals. To get to see who the professionals are that are participating, you can go to the same URL, internshipconnect.risd.edu/2024. That has the list of companies that are involved. Now, you'll notice a note that refers to preferred majors. So each company that's listed on this participating companies page lists the majors of interest. This does not mean that if you are not in the major of interest, you cannot go to talk to them. They're just trying to give you an indication of like who they're interested in. This may be relevant to the positions that are coming up for the summer, or it may also be relevant to their focus as a company. But you know, if you're a painter and you've got some graphic design skills and you want to approach a company that is interested in graphic designers, by all means, please go and talk to that company. Okay. And all disciplines are welcome to this event. Whether you're design or fine art, everyone is welcome. So let's go through the checklist of things that you should know about. And one thing that's cool about this photo is like, it actually shows what it could look like at Internship Connect. This is a past Internship Connect event. And, you know, you can see that some of these representatives bring things that you can check out at their table. You're able to walk up as a student and engage with them. You know, there's a lot that can take place in this type of setting. So the checklist, all the things that you need to know about. For one thing, you want to do your homework and research the companies that you're interested in. So I told you about that page that has all of the companies that are participating. Really easy to go onto those websites for each of those companies that you think you might be interested in, learn more about them through their, through their websites, their social media feeds, maybe checking people out on LinkedIn in advance. That would be a very clever kind of pro tip there to start connecting with folks before the event. You know, it's great to be able to research these places to develop your familiarity before going into a conversation. You'll be really glad that you know a thing or two about these companies beforehand. The primary asset you'll be bringing with you that you could hand over to the company representative is your resume or your CV if you're a fine artist or an educator. So you can view examples of resumes and CVs on our website, and that shows like a little image of our careers booklet for resumes and career essentials. And you should bring extra copies of your resume, physical printed copies, just in case you get really excited and you end up meeting with more companies than you thought of. You'll have a supply to hand over and to be able to leave that behind. And you know, an optional aspect is a portfolio sample. This is optional. Don't go thinking that like, oh God, I have to have a portfolio sample in order to participate in this. It is just optional. A portfolio sample, it's really like a highlight on 1 or 2 pages of 3 to 6 pieces that you'd like to share as like a preview of what you're capable of. And it could just be like a nice leave behind. Excellent portfolio samples will have your name very clearly established, your contact info. If you have a portfolio or a demo reel, you can include a hyperlink to that on this printed page. It's just like a nice to have, okay? You know, your portfolio sample, if you're sitting on like numerous works and you're trying to figure out like, well, how do I limit my portfolio down to like 1 page? Just think of like, what are the highlights that you would want to show to establish a first impression that's based off of what you want to be doing for your internship or your job post-graduation. That might help you to understand like what to show. It also could be your logic may be to show your best work so that you're putting your best foot forward, or your most recent work. Whatever it is, you just try to use some logic behind like how to show your work in a limited way. Yes?
Having like maybe modified like separate portfolios sometimes if you're depending on who you're talking to?
Yeah, so the question was like, if you have different types of work that you do, should you have different types of portfolio samples? So I want to be cautious about saying like, sure, if you want to do that, but I'm also like very conscious of everyone's time. Everybody's strapped for time and working hard at school. So don't feel like you need to do that. You may also produce a portfolio sample that shows your range in a double-sided page, and you can speak to that when you go to talk to someone. But yeah, best case scenario, if you really wanted to do separate versions, that would be fine. Just be careful of of your time management. That's all. All right. So drop-ins. We offer drop-ins at the Career Center every week. Mondays and Fridays, we offer extended drop-ins from 9 in the morning to 1 p.m. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, we go from 11 to 1 p.m. And this is especially popular now with the event coming up. Just to get some last minute feedback, you might have a portfolio sample or a resume that you just want to get another set of eyes on. You may have a question about a certain company and you want to practice like what you might say to them. This is meant to be like a quick 15-minute check-in to just give you what you need to make sure that you've got yourself fully prepared for the event. Attire. So how you dress is really up to you. The way that we describe it is to just be intentional about your appearance because it's part of your first impression. So if that is a creative endeavor for you, awesome. If it's more of a conventional, like business casual type thing, cool. Like whatever your style is, just show that you care when you walk into this event and it'll go over well with the person you're meeting. Now, this event, if it does interfere with any classes or studios, your faculty has been notified that this is taking place, but please get permission in advance to attend this, okay? Now checking in, when you go to the convention center, and that's a picture of it in the background over there, it's at 1 Sabin Street, and we'll be including this in the emails that we'll be sending to you. The doors open an hour before the event at 3 p.m. But that is not to say that there's some advantage to being there first. There are plenty of folks that show up at Internship Connect at 5 o'clock, and they've have an amazing experience for 5 to 6:30 or something like that. So don't go thinking this is like first come, first serve. It's just like we do open the doors at 3 if you want to get in there, and that's better for your schedule, and you'll be able to start the event at 4 o'clock. Very important. The check-in system that we're using uses your RISD ID, just like everything else. So please do bring your RISD ID. We will be checking to make sure that you have it, and we actually swipe it so that you're checked into the event, and then you're able to get things that you need. If you're on your way to the convention center and you suddenly realize that you forgot your ID, we can look you up. If you've got your phone with you, just come on in and we'll take care of you. But the check-in process runs really quickly if you can just bring your ID. So the main event, the Internship Connect event, how does this work? So the way that this works is you start by shaking hands. Now, this may seem like kind of a silly thing to bring up, but if I could for a minute, if you're not like holding something expensive on your lap, you could just stand up and give each other a handshake just to give it a practice run. Okay. All right. There's seats down here if you want to come in. There's seats down here if you want to come in. Okay, everybody. So, all right, we're awake. Woo! So I'm not a professional psychologist or anything, but I want to analyze what just happened. What happened was you shook hands with someone, you made eye contact, you had some energy behind your handshake. You know, you weren't crushing each other's hands, but you felt like an alive person that was energetically excited to do good work, right? So we're not just handing over like a mannequin arm or like a dead fish. It's like a nice handshake that shows that you're present and interested in learning more from this representative. It's actually like what happens and what goes behind this whole thing with a handshake. Like, not everybody does this across the world, but it happens to be a convention here in the United States, and it can work pretty well to get people's attention. So nice handshake. You're ready to introduce yourself. And this introduction should take about 30 seconds. It's like, hey, what's up? I'm Jason. I'm in film animation and video in my junior year at RISD, and I'm really excited about meeting with you at your company for XYZ reasons. So you get it right out there, because let's face it, like, we potentially have very limited time to talk to someone. And if you actually like know what you're going to say, you'll get more out of this event by just being in control and presenting yourself in a professional manner like this. And just like the handshake, this is actually something that you can practice with your peers. It's harder to introduce yourself to your peers in some ways because you get like more embarrassed. But if you're just meeting somebody for the first time, hopefully you can just be yourself. You've got something that you know you want to say, and you can get it out there pretty easily. If there's time after your introduction, you could ask them a question. Maybe you ask them a question about what they do at their job. I'm going to show you some example questions, as a matter of fact. You're presenting your resume and your CV. Here's a copy of my resume. Love for you to have it and love to keep in touch. You can ask for a business card if they have one, or you can ask for some form of contact. And of course, it's always cool to show gratitude when you get to meet someone like this and thank them for participating and coming. We get amazing results, by the way. The reports from employers that participate in events like this, they all love you. They always say like, oh my God, these RISD students present themselves so well. They're so courteous. So we're very proud of all of you. So for some of the questions that you can consider, what types of internships are available for this year? So some people may actually say we actually don't have internships available, but I can assure you they're there because they're like sourcing for talent that may come down the line. There's always a good reason to come to one of these events, even if you don't have an immediate position available. What are you looking for in a potential intern? Whether they have an intern available or not, they should be able to articulate what they're looking for in folks, and it will help you gain insights on how you can prepare for an internship application. How are interns involved in the work of the company? This can be exciting to just learn, like, are you working on real projects? Are you assigned to a team? You know, the days of like being an intern and fetching coffee hopefully are long gone, and you're actually like doing meaningful work and learning on the job. That is our expectation of the employers. That's what they hear from the Career Center, is there to provide you with an excellent quality experience. And so why not learn more about this while you're in the house at this event? When is the best time to apply? So this can tip you off on like when you might want to be like early in your outreach to them, so that if they say like, oh yeah, start applying in May, why not reach out in April or in March and let them know that you're like excited about the upcoming job, because things can change with this timing. So it's good to know like when they might be publishing these opportunities. And what is the best way for me to follow up with you? Over email, over LinkedIn? So this question, the last question, it might be the most important question actually, because keeping in touch with people is the most important aspect of this. If you go to Internship Connect and you meet someone and then that's it, well, nothing really happens. Unless they were like completely blown away by their interaction with you, it's really on you to be the one that's like staying in touch, sharing some of the updates on your portfolio with them, maybe sending them some praise about things that they've done in their work or projects that have released. So I do want to mention the artwork system, which is also part of this process. So the artwork system, you use that to register for the event tonight. There is an event that you can register for with Internship Connect, but another thing that is going to become available when the event concludes. So 7 p.m. on Wednesday night, October 23rd. We're opening what's called a resume drop feature. So if you weren't sure if somebody like got your resume, or you're afraid that they're going to lose it, or maybe you didn't make it over to one of the booths while you were in the house and you want to engage with them, we're offering a digital version of a resume drop through the system. You'll be getting emails about this the night of Internship Connect, so you'll know when it's coming. But it's just another way for us to provide more engagement to these companies. Furthermore, Artworks always has a really cool employer directory. So even now, like anytime, it could even be during the summer, you can always check for company listings and contact info in Artworks. So any of these folks that are registering with the Career Center, they're participating in our events, or they're posting a job, we're always hungry for contact info. We always ask them if we have permission to share their emails with you all. So why not go in and see if there's any contact info available? And then follow up. I've touched on this a little bit, but as I said, it's really important. So it's worth going a little deeper. Yeah.
Does that also apply to previous years or just this year? Like finding their information and reaching out?
Oh, yeah, great question. So I think the question was about like, are we limited to looking at artworks just for this event, or could we use it for past events or past contacts? So yeah, I mean, artworks, we never purge the contacts that we get from each event. we always try to retain that information. So you could be finding contact info that is fresh that we just got, or it could be 2 years old. You never know. And to that point, sometimes you might go in there and say like, oh, it says that there's an email in here, but the email bounced because this person doesn't work there anymore. That will happen from time to time. But let's just say that at least you do have a name though, that you could look up in LinkedIn. And now you've got like an alternate means of reaching out. And I just touched on LinkedIn, and I'm talking a lot about networking, and I'm going to talk a bit more about follow-up. I do want to mention that like we have a networking event that is coming up in November, networking and building professional relationships. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be something that you can attend, and it's like a deep dive on LinkedIn and networking. So your follow-up. The traditional follow-up whenever you have some kind of like interaction with a professional, and this could be like a career fair, it could be going to an open studio that a company, or an open house that a company hosts, or just a chance meeting. It's always a good idea to send like a thank you note afterwards. And this is kind of sneaky, like not only are you thanking them, but it's also a way for you to like try to get that connection in there, try to get their contact info and have them acknowledge that you've written to them, and try to get them to remember your interaction. So for that reason, like when you're sending a thank you note, include some details of your conversation if you can. Like maybe you were talking about like a certain tool set or software during your conversation, or maybe they were talking about how they really like an aspect of your background and that would be unique for their team. Whatever it is, just like try to refresh their memory, because of course these folks are meeting a lot of people during this event, right? And express interest. I know it's obvious, but express interest in their internships, in their company. You'd be surprised at how many of these professionals receive kind of bland outreach from people. RISD folks are typically better than that. You add value to your outreach to these company representatives. So like tell them a bit about something you're working on, or commend them for a new product release or a new project that you saw that they had. So try to add value to your outreach and to engage with them in a meaningful, authentic way. And then we have a note here about connecting on LinkedIn. Connecting on LinkedIn is really like, some people will use LinkedIn and they'll think like, oh, this is where I look for jobs, or this is where I fill out my profile. And that is true about LinkedIn, but the main purpose and value of LinkedIn is looking people up and connecting with them. It's almost like that's really like the value there, is like making that connection. So if you've got a name of someone that you met, look them up and try to connect with them. And this also makes it easier to stay in touch with people for future opportunities. So we had talked about how like the employer directory in Artworks, sometimes that can go out of date if someone leaves their job. If you're connected on LinkedIn, you're sure to know where they are at all times. I've had friends that have left a company and I wasn't even aware of it, but I was able to track them down through LinkedIn. So it's a great way to keep persistent contact with folks. And then other aspects of follow-up is, after your initial meeting, we're hoping that this establishes a more long-term connection with folks. So these professional connections can help you in your search and application for internships, either at their company, or they may even be willing to give assistance for other positions at other companies. You might be able to share new work with your connections later in the semester so that they're aware of like how your skills are developing. And as a recipient, it's a very interesting engagement to see new work. Like who doesn't want to see new work? Like it's a great way to keep in touch. And then consider following up again in the new year. So it's almost like twice a semester to check in with your connections. That can be like the best case scenario for getting yourself in a good shape for when summer internship applications start and you want to be securing your next gig as an intern or as after graduation. And that covers the preparation and check-in aspects. I do have some previews of the companies that I'll review for you, but I did want to just like, if there's any latecomers, if you wouldn't mind, pardon the interruption, but if you could just hit that QR code, we just want to make sure that we capture who's in the room, and it helps us to understand like how effective we are in like reaching all the majors that we're hoping for. Thank you. All right, so here's the thing. There's a good number of companies that are participating this year. So the way that I chose this next list of organizations was I chose companies that hosted a RISD intern, at least one, in the past 2 years. So starting with Brahmin. For over 40 years, they've been designing luxury handbags that spark confidence in the people who carry them. Our croc embossed Melbourne leather has been our signature since our start in 1982, and it is well loved for its one-of-a-kind nature. DiLeonardo, partnering with the world's top hospitality brands, the DiLeonardo team of masters continually demonstrates an ability to harness purposeful elegance in design and deliver it anywhere in the world. So again, all of these places have had a RISD intern. Down City Design, a local outfit. Improving cities by inviting neighbors to imagine and create better futures using the tools of design. We believe in the power of design to solve problems and in our power of young people to change the world. Fahrenheit is a world-class team of creatives, strategists, and marketers, blurring the lines between an in-house marketing team and creative agency. We take a human-first approach to raising brands and operationalizing them, fusing creative genius with strategic brand implementation. Since 1992, Keekerland Design has established itself as one of the top companies in the world, offering unique, well-designed products to inspire our customers and their needs. Adventures. They bring good people with great talent from diverse disciplines and backgrounds from all over the world to work with shared values and purpose. A human kind of brand agency offering strategy plus creative to solve problems and make people happy. They've actually hosted 2 interns in the past 2 years. So Fidelity, constantly innovating to serve our customers' evolving needs. Always challenging the status quo means exploring new technologies to enhance the customer experience and deliver even more value. 2 internships. Mythology. We are creative instigators who help our clients solve their existential business challenges. We help new brands disrupt categories and become leading brands. We help established brands build upon their legacies to continue to leave a mark. 2 internships. HOK, a global design, architecture, engineering, and planning firm. Our 1,700 people collaborate across a network of 26 offices on 3 continents. HOK is a collective of future-forward thinkers and designers. 3 internships. Loft Design. We merge design thinking and implementation tool sets to unlock new opportunities for our clients and their customers. 7 internships. And the RISD Museum believes that art, artists, and the institutions that support them play pivotal roles in promoting broad civic engagement and creating more open societies. 11 internships. That covers everything that we have to offer for the Internship Connect, but there's probably more to learn, and that'll be through your questions. So this is the time to ask questions. Please don't be shy. Love to help you out. Yeah. Great question. So is the list of companies final? It is still updating. You know, we are still encouraging companies to participate. We want to get as much engagement as possible. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
Handing out your information in a fast way.
Yeah, so are business cards appropriate for this event? That's a great question. It's optional. Of course, it would be wonderful if you brought them, but companies aren't expecting them. It's a nice touch if you're able to do it, but please, like be aware of your resources and what you're able to do with the time that's given. But yeah, that would be awesome. Anyone else? Yeah, please.
Or like certain parts of it, or they like HR or like.
Oh, yeah, great question. So what are the profiles of the people that are going to this event? Or is it just like HR reps, or is it like actual designers or people involved in production? So it varies. Of course, the Career Center is all about like trying to get our alums to show up. And we're really psyched at like the great response from our alumni. And of course, those are like your fellow creatives and designers. But there are some folks that show up that are like in an HR function, talent acquisition or something like that. And they're great representatives of the company. They have great information to offer. So it really varies. You just have to like show up and be nimble and figure out like, is this someone that wants to talk shop with me? Or is this someone that like, it's more of a high level introduction? Thanks for the question. Anybody else? Well, as you know, and it's up here now, there's some of us available up here on screen. Would love to see you come into the Career Center, which is right over there, first floor. Drop-in advising hours are here, and then you can also book one-on-one appointments in Artworks. But thanks for coming out, and reach out if you have any other questions. Thank you.